right, chapter 15, Hipping and Hopping. Somerset Wolfson III welcomes you to the Capulets' Ball in honor of the cast and crew of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Keep up the good work. Wow, Cooper says to Mr. Marquise, who is greeting the seventh graders at the door to the gym. Is Mr. Wolfson here? It gets a big laugh from the students in line behind Cooper. Are you kidding, Aiden crows? The wolf never slums it with us common people. He just picks up the tab. Aiden, the director, is disapproving. We don't call Mr. Wolfson by that nickname. And besides, you're wrong about that. He comes to our performance every year because that's Shakespeare, Aiden reasons. He's president of the guy's fan club. They say he's got Shakespeare's sweaty underwear hidden away in that museum of his, pipes up another one of the soccer players. Cooper snickers. Mr. Marquis smiles tolerantly. We'll find out soon enough. We'll be visiting the museum before the show. Although, he adds, I've taken the tour many times. No underwear, sweaty or otherwise. Gross. The underwear must be a secret collection, Aiden announces. The one nobody's allowed to see. I'll bet he talks to it. I'll bet he wears it on his head when he goes to sleep at night. The director makes a face. That's just gross. Have fun, boys. Don't forget to take one of these. He holds out a carton full of colorful cardboard masks. Remember, the Capulets' party was a masquerade ball. That's how Romeo and the Montagues were able to sneak in. Once inside, Roddy asks Cooper to take out his phone so mine eyes may behold the splendor of the ballroom. All right, Cooper whispers, but you're in for a letdown. What manner of ball is this? The ghost complains. Where are the banners and the tapestries and the candelabra? 'Tis not a ballroom at all. 'Tis but the gymnasium in half darkness with a paltry assortment of colored streamers dangling from the basketball treads. School parties are always lame, Cooper tells him apologetically. I see no minstrels, Roddy goes on. When beginneth the music, the rhythmic pounding doth blood gone mine ears. That is the music, Cooper explains. It's called hip-hop. It's pretty good. You're just not used to it. Aye, this cannot be so. The boy standeth by yonder wall, whilst the maidens standeth opposite, yet they danceth not. That's pretty standard too, Cooper informs him. The last thing anyone wants to do at a school dance is dance. Thy world is magical, Cooper Vega, yet the people in it trieth my understanding. The masks may have helped Romeo crash the Capulets' party, but for the seventh graders who see one another every day, a small oval of cardboard isn't much of a disguise. Cooper can't miss Brock's, hey, check out WhatsHisFace, and is happy to hear Jolie calling his name and waving from the other side of the gym. Roddy sees her too. Thou shalt say to her that her beauty doth put to shame the rose. You look nice, he shouts back at her. Thou art hopeless, the ghost sighs through the earbud. A lifeless stone knoweth more of love than thee. Thou must lead her to the dance. I'm not going to do that, Roddy. I'll look like an idiot. Eventually, the teachers get so fed up with the boys and the girls separated into two armed camps that they try to move things along by dancing themselves. If they expect this to inspire the students to follow their example, they're sorely disappointed. There's a lot of chuckling and even some finger pointing, but the cast and crew of Romeo and Juliet keep their opposite sides of the gym. They may be putting on a romantic play, but that's where the romance ends. At last, the teachers resort to desperate measures. Mr. Marquise pulls Brock from his usual group of friends and marches him out of the gym. Mrs. Vostroff does the same with Jolie. A few minutes later, the two lead actors are back in full costume. It does the trick. Two Stratford seventh graders are never going to ask each other to dance. But for Romeo and Juliet, it's the most natural thing in the world. Of course, the play's star-crossed lovers never dance to rap, but that doesn't seem to matter. The entire cast and crew clusters around Jolie and Brock, clapping to the beat. Soon, everyone is moving to the music, individually and in groups, swaying, stomping, and gyrating until it feels as if the very gym floor is vibrating under their feet. The sight of Jolie, resplendent in Juliet's pale blue gown, dancing with Brock is enough to make Cooper's skull hurt. He points the GX4000 in their direction so that Roddy can see them too. Look at him, Cooper seethes. He puts the bum in Bumgartner. What a knave. There's no response from the phone. The screen is dark. Cooper looks around and finally locates Roddy, a shimmering silhouette swirling above the dancers. Roddy has let himself out again, this time in front of every seventh grader in town. Obviously, Cooper can't chew out the ghosts here. Besides, the music is too loud for Roddy to have any chance of hearing him. So he holds the phone high above the crowd, hoping that Roddy will spot it and gets the message. Get back in or else. It doesn't catch Roddy's attention, but he's the only one to miss it. The dancers take out their phones, extend them over their heads, and start snapping pictures. Flashes burst in all directions. The DJ gets into the spirit and kills the lights. The effect is mesmerizing, strobe lit bodies gyrating in what looks like staccato slow motion. And atop it all, like smoke above a battlefield, one 16th century ghost, his puffy sleeved arms and pantalooned legs grooving to the beat. Cooper stands in agony, waiting for someone to point straight up and holler, "Hey, what's that?" No one does. The scene is wild. The camera flash is too blinding for anybody to notice the dimly glowing mass of ectoplasm circling overhead. Nor can they tell when Roddy's specter is ripped out of the air and sucked back into the GX4000. The party rages on. Cooper glares in fury at the ghost, now on the screen again. "Are you crazy? Somebody could have seen you." "Oh, Cooper Vega," Roddy is actually panting. "Methinks this hipping and hopping is most excellent entertainment. Perchance this music in truth. This be music in truth." The click disappears behind the pounding beat as Roddy streams out of the phone and rejoins the dancers. Cooper can only watch helplessly and hope that the DJ's light covers up the swooping swan diving that's taking place above them. There's no point in counting the Mississippis anymore. Seconds have turned into long minutes before Roddy is drawn back to the GX4000, only to catch his breath and launch himself free again. No wonder the ghost had time to investigate airplanes and fire hydrants and be chased by a cat. He's learning to extend his jumps outside the phone. As the Capulets ball rocks on from song to song, a few others cast members slink off to the wardrobe room and reappear in full costume, much to the delight of Mr. Marquise and the teachers. But there's no question that the focal point of the party lies with Romeo and Juliet. They dance every song together and their eyes rarely leave each other. If you don't count the times that Brock pans the gym with his puffed up smirk, making sure that everybody knows he's got Jolie Solomon wrapped around his little finger. When he finds Cooper, the grin becomes most Grinch-like. Oh, excuse me. Twisting his fat cheeks until it seems as if his face might break. Cooper can't help thinking of the final lines of Romeo and Juliet. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Of course, Shakespeare was talking about the fact that they both died, but this feels pretty lousy too. Eventually, the DJ takes a break and the teachers herd their cast members to a long buffet table for pizza and dessert. Roddy returns to the phone, exhilarated. "I am bereft. The hipping and hopping hath ended. Just while we eat," Cooper sues. "You can get reffed again when the DJ comes back." The students, exhausted after their solid hour of nonstop dancing, fall on the pizza like starving sharks. Brock loads up a double-decker sandwich of 4 face-to-face slices, and Mrs. Vostroff rushes over with a paper towel to keep him from decorating Romeo's costume with tomato sauce. "Why dost thou not dine, Cooper Vega?" the ghost asks. "Is the triangular flatbread not to thine liking?" "It's called pizza, and I like it just fine, but something made me lose my appetite, see?" He angles the GX4000 in the direction of Jolie and Brock. In spite of the entire grade milling around, it's as if they're having an intimate dinner for two. "Thou shalt assert thyself," Roddy advises. "When the hipping and hopping resumeth, she must hip with thee, also hop, as it is my observation that the two happen together." "It's too late," Cooper laments. "'Tis never too late. Not even when the death cart cometh for thy sad remains. Behold, here I am." Brock reaches over to the DJ station, pulls off the microphone, and lets out an enormous belch. Magnified by the sound system, it makes the rafters ring. Then he bellows, his mouth still half full of pizza. "I'm Romeo, wherefore art me?" Cooper is seething. I hate when he does that. The teachers exchange wary glances. They don't mind their cast and crew having a little fun, but when should they step in to keep things from getting out of hand? In the nick of time, Jolie leans into the mic and in a pleading tone recites Juliet's line. "Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be best sworn my love." Yeah, Brock roars and repeats, "Wherefore art me?" Tyler McAdoo, who plays Mershudo, chimes in with the famous "a plague on both your houses" speech. Ruth Benitez James, Juliet's nurse, delivers her line, filled with ominous warning. His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of a great enemy. Wherefore art me? Brays Brock when it seems like too much time has gone by without him putting his 2 cents in. Speak up, Roddy hisses in Cooper's ear. No chance. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Go forth and speak Romeo's lines so that fair Jolie may see that thou art better than the buffoon. And before he can think it through, Cooper is stepping forward to the microphone. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I never will be Romeo. As Cooper speaks, Jolie's attention shifts from Brock to him. At first, her expression is surprised. Then she steps toward him and delivers Juliet's response. What man art thou that this be screened night so sublest on my counsel? Brock tries to interpose another. Wherefore art me? But all eyes are now on Cooper and Jolie. Even another tremendous burp doesn't recover the crowd's attention. As a last resort, Brock recites his speeches along with Cooper. It's his part, after all. He should know it best. But he falters, and Cooper continues on, letter perfect. He and Jolie continue the scene, line by line, Romeo and Juliet, while Brock struggles to keep up. At last, Mr. Marquis steps in, concerned about what Brock's angry red face might lead to. That's enough, everybody. Rehearsals tomorrow. Tonight we party. He signals to the DJ. A few minutes later, the music is pounding. The dance floor is rocking, and Roddy is out there flying high above their heads. Cooper feels a hand on his arm and looks up to see Aiden regarding him in wonder. Dude, how come you know that? You're one of the watchmen like me. Cooper shrugs. I've only got one line. That's a lot of time sitting around listening to other people act. I guess I just kind of picked it up. Yeah, but you're a natural, Aiden insists. All those Shakespeare words, it's almost like you've got a little voice in your head telling you exactly how it's supposed to sound. Cooper smiles. You have no idea. On the ride home in Captain Vegas' car, Roddy can't stop raving about the most glorious evenings since I last drew breath in this world. And the crowning moment was thy performance. 'Tis certain that fair Jolie will commence falling in love with thee at any moment. Cooper sighs, and Roddy's great, but he has a lot to learn about the 21st century girls.